Welcome, everyone. You are listening to and perhaps watching Calling the Audible. I am your host, Peeze Del Reason. The man whose hand I just touched while we tried to set the clock was Simon Dagenet.
Hi.
That will happen 3 times this show. At random intervals, your hand will be touched.
I'm sure there's 2 more times it is.
Mm-hmm. No, 3 more. It's going to happen 3 times during the show.
So what now? What are you gonna do
That's
now?
coming. It's coming. That's never stopped me before. Producing the show, as always, is the Eagle at Master Control, and reading the drunken thoughts of my brother, as well as anyone else on Facebook Live, is Jim Calethris, who once again wonders what happened to his life.
Do you think he's actually drunk? Or
Nail on the head.
He's not. What time is it?
It's a Thursday night.
Is it
9:30.
PM?
Yeah.
He's not sober.
Is it PM?
Yeah.
So 12:01?
Yeah.
Awesome. I need to hang with Duke more.
Do you think if Mo was here, Dave would be heckling him?
Probably even worse. Far worse.
He might be
Khan has been kidnapped for those.
Maybe he's with Dave.
But they're both Raiders fans.
Did Duke kidnap Mo Khan?
Wow. Mine got blown.
For those who didn't see, I made a mind-blown gesture. Because, of course, we are on
I could see your brother kidnapping Mo Khan just for the heck of it.
our podcast network.
Because it's 1 p.m. and he doesn't have anything to do, so it
Yeah.
just...
What's the afternoon equivalent of wake and bake? Afternoon delight, but for getting high.
I'm off work.
Whoever's got an idea, feel free at any time to bring it up. We will read it on the show. It's important news. Division 4, what'd you see?
Friends in Low Places manhandled Jägerbomb last night. 38.
Sorry.
I don't know when the music's still on, you go.
That
Are
was
you
my
producing
signal to
this,
Eagle.
38-14. Friends of Low Places. It's a must-win for them. Jägerbomb didn't really matter, but the Jägerbomb did not play well.
Does that worry you?
Yes.
Because?
Jägerbomb is a good team. They should be... Every season, they're like that Mokan Classic sneaky good team where we kind of see them as a middle-of-the-pack team, and then they take a few teams by surprise, and they make the conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
Friends in Low Places really outplayed them.
But is that altogether surprising considering how good... Friends in Low Places,
It's a good
throw
team.
the record out, so to speak, but it's a good team, right?
Yeah, but are they a real contender to the title this season?
I don't know. We'll see in a few weeks, but...
I guess. But in my opinion, they should be like a lower seed, and Jägerbomb should be feasting on them.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not. It was a very one-sided game.
Jared Buck, 7 receptions, 86 yards, 3 out of Danny Demore's 5 touchdowns. Simon Lahaye, 65 yards on 6 catches, but a big 0 in the 6-point column.
Yeah, and the thing is, I
Clever
like...
Eagle. Clever.
His name is Buck, and he came to football.
Yeah, he did. Very happy we didn't all just get fired. Thank you for that.
Wait, we can't say that?
We can't say some words that may or may not rhyme with football. But
Softball?
I like the way both these teams are built.
Sorry, Rob.
And seeing what's most impressive is not even winning the game, but holding Jägerbomb to only 14 points with Jean-Félix Dalloz, with Simon Lahaye, with Gabriel Paquet. It's a very good team.
That's the part that worries me a little bit. Is I watched most of the game. I was scorekeeping the next field, so I didn't give them my whole attention. But every time I turned around, Jägerbomb was not doing much on offense. Their defense was okay, but it's tough when you're always consistently on your heels and defending. At some point, they sort of just gave up. There's a few bad, poor tackling that turned into touchdowns, but otherwise, Jägerbomb did not look like a contender last night.
Marc-Andre Delaunay said also Jared Buck had 2 amazing catches for 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's a very good receiver.
He is. The only thing is he's not Kevin Smuda, who's basically trying to replace.
He's a different person.
Yes. He's trying to replace
But
Kevin
it's a different style of receiver too, right?
It's similar style of receiver. It's
Because?
just they both play with their size. So they're
Mhm.
both big, tall receivers that will win jump balls for you.
Yeah, but like I see Smuda boxing out a lot of guys.
That's the one thing that Jared Buck doesn't do.
Jared Buck doesn't do it, but he'll make
He'll make
one-hand
those
catches down the sideline. They're just
He'll make
foolish.
catches in traffic, and he's very good at dragging his toes, and he's physical, but he doesn't box out players the way
Mhm.
Kevin Smuda does. And that's the big difference for a quarterback like Danny Damour, who learned with a guy like Kevin Smuda that on the post, on one-on-ones, we win those. So if he does this again as a quarterback and he doesn't win those, what do you do now? Like, you've learned for past few seasons that they work, and now they don't anymore. It's a transition period that's not always easy, and in the season like FPF, where at the end of the season we like to say, it's just one game, it's just 1 week, but at the end of the season we know that every game matters, and that's what happens is you lose a few games because you're transitioning from your previous play style, and you miss the playoffs because you threw away one too many games.
The Tide, 31. Warhawks, 28.
Yeah, that's cool. That's kind of cool. Like, I like to see Warhawks not being that powerhouse anymore. I also like to see Tide kind of coming back into the picture. They're probably the most up and down team there is.
But why is that? Why do you think they have that level of inconsistency?
Tide?
Yeah.
Because it's a boomer bust offense. If they don't get that 40 bomb, those big plays down the sideline, their offense is going nowhere. And they'll take shots every single game, and they'll put themselves in poor situations because of that. So it's first down, 40 bomb. Second down, say like a 20-yard pass. If they don't convert on either of those, or they get a sack among these plays, it's 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, and now you're trying to convert a hero play to avoid bunting.
Brent Calendar not at this game. Coincidence?
Oh, shots fired. But that from
That's
what
the question.
Oh, no, that has nothing to do with
So it is a coincidence.
No, it's not. It's just pure. So yes,
Yes or
it's
no
a coincidence.
question. It's like, it's what it gets.
So confused right now.
What your brain had to do was, what's a coincidence?
It did it.
Yes.
It went to yes. No, wait, what? No, I think, honestly, I believe that the Tide offense needs to go back to simpler, more drive the field kind of plays. They have a good enough defense that if they score 5 times, they'll win games.
Mm-hmm.
But taking shots for 40 bombs 15 times in the same game will not. It worked before. Remember that season when they played in 4B? We were also in 4B.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2 or 3 years ago.
That's when Simon Dajin was just taking shots of 40 bombs too. So I mean,
Chris Pinsonneau won quarterback of the year that season.
Yeah.
Had like 63 touchdowns because those 40 bombs were there for him.
but I don't think that's sustainable long term. And defenses are only getting better in FPL.
Yes, and the guys on the Tide are also 2 years older now,
Mm-hmm.
so they're not as fast as they used to be.
Law beat the Backyard Bullies 27-26. Is this
One
LOB.
win season. We did it. We made it.
is this a pointless game?
Is this sorry?
Was this a pointless game?
Yes.
Oh, big time. But it's also like Bullies are not in the playoffs anymore. They're officially out of the playoffs. So congratulations to LOB first of
Yeah.
all for knocking them out.
Playing
Second,
spoiler. Yeah.
because you guys didn't finish 0-10.
That was always the dream.
That's the dream. And yeah, Bullies, there has to be the most frustrating season for them. We all had very high hopes for Backyard Bullies like every season. We've learned to know that this score is too good not to make the playoffs. We know nothing.
Yes, and we'll talk about them as well as LOB's season in our recap a little bit
Yeah.
later.
Well, we won't talk about LOB, but yeah.
We will. Brocasian beat Les Montagnards 30-27. Les Montagnards, again, another one of these teams up and down. Does that surprise you?
Yes.
I expected this team to be a dominant team in Division.
I expect them to be able to contain Brocasian's offense.
Mhm.
Probably one of the best teams to do it because they kind of know what to expect. They kind of know they have the football IQ to be able to take it away, and it didn't work. But Montagnards are really one of those teams that, hey, they beat the Tease, and hey, they lost to Brocasian.
Yeah.
That's Montagnards, and I feel like that's going to be their playoff season. Is hey, they come in as a low seed, they upset the first seed, and then they win a game they should have. They lose a game they should have won.
Absolutely. Brocasian, on the other hand, they're a team that we've kind of seen go from like perennial top end team to a team that's struggled in recent seasons. But they're a team that, do you think they can be competitive in the playoffs?
I think they're always out of their depth. Like they're always playing the division that's too strong for them.
They always one division too high.
Yeah, like last time I played them, they were in Division B. They didn't belong there. This season, I felt they could have been a right fit in the 4A. It feels like it's always close, but they're missing those key pieces. Like Brocasian lost Kyle Lebowski due to cap restrictions and stuff, and their offense just doesn't click the same way. I think they need to. I don't know what to tell about Brocasian. They're good players. They know what they're doing. It's not working anymore.
Les Stud, tie all hooks.
Oh, that was a great game.
26-26.
It was a great game yesterday.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, that was a good way to put it. I was surprised to see such a low-scoring such a low-scoring game.
The game is the thing that you're referring
Yes,
to. Yeah.
I was expecting this game to go 40-40. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Charles-Olivier Lavigne did not played well. The quarterback for Alex. It's just it wasn't as efficient as it usually is. Félix Laflamme was uncoverable.
But
Every time I
he
turned around,
should be in Division 4.
Oh.
He should be uncoverable in Division 4.
Oh, he should be in high. Yeah. Every time I turned around, he had the ball and he was running and nobody was tackling him. Like he was getting 10, 15 yards every time.
Here's a fun one for you. Samuel Caron, 19 for 30, 177 yards, 4 TDs. Charles-Olivier Lavigne, 19 for 32, 173 yards, 4 TDs.
Basically the same game.
Basically the same game, except Thomas Couture had 3 sacks and Charles-Olivier Lavigne had 6 rushing attempts for 28 yards. So
That's not a lot considering.
Yeah, considering, yep.
Look, I mean, they're two well-built teams, two strong teams. I mean, Samuel
They're two
Caron,
quarterback-heavy teams.
I'm happy to see. Well, no, but like, there's talent on both these teams.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's
but
Thomas Couture as a rusher or Félix Laflamme. Like I said, Félix Laflamme and Samuel Caron, like it's cool they're doing well in Division 4, but these are guys who can compete at much higher levels than FPF.
Yeah, but Samuel Caron also needed the transition time. If you would have inserted him into a Division 2 team, he would not have been successful. He's in the right division, even if that's crazy to say considering his quarterback pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
But he was also not increased, but
Well, because his
move up really, really quickly.
I think his sort of like ability, like the Maximus potential is much higher than this division.
Oh yeah.
But at the beginning of the season,
But
that's where he needs
just
to be.
at this point, I could see him like playing with a few of his friends in Division B next season and really taking the next step.
Maxime Hutobi
Is
is
it-
also is a guy not a lot of people know of, but he's excellent receiver as well.
Is it too soon to say that Caron was the greatest quarterback of all time for lightweight?
That's not nice.
Not based on his one game from lightweight, but
That's
other
not nice.
other achievements, yes.
The greatest quarterback to ever play for lightweight.
I mean, he's not an all-star.
Simon Dagenet was though.
I mean,
And if Simon has anything to do with it, he'll never
well,
be.
I mean, if any of you have ever spoke to François Raymond before, he's gonna say that no, he's the greatest of all time. So I'll go with him over me 100%.
and
I love
technically speaking, the greatest quarterback to play for lightweight is Alex Neto Putz, even though he didn't play quarterback.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, big time. Oh yeah, hands down.
I love that François Raymond has a play where basically all the receivers cross to make a smile.
No, that's not the play.
That wasn't it.
They had a wristband in their first few season, and the play design, they just drew a smiley face on the play design, and he would call it 20 times a game because he thought it was funny. So he would look at his wristbands like, "Oh, this is great," and he would turn around and just point the smiley face.
Is
at
that
the player.
somehow the one where he would also just like buy time in the backfield?
Yes.
just,
So
like,
all
go
of his
back-
plays.
Yes,
So,
that
yeah.
was the special. That they used to be called the sauce back then, and that was like the sauce special is the smiley face. What is it? François gonna do whatever at some point. He's gonna get open. He's gonna throw you the ball at some point in 8 or 9 minutes. It was the worst, but it worked.
Yeah.
So they won a championship.
Grinders beat Sphinx 26-6. Is this a shocker to you as the same way it is to me?
So I was there.
Okay.
Grinders had a different quarterback.
Okay.
I cannot tell you who it was. Eagle, could
Can
you?
someone tell us?
In the meantime, reading in from the chat,
Yep.
Marc-Andre Desaulniers, without context, said finish at the last play of the game with a drop on a slant in the end zone.
That was
Don't you know what
the
happens?
no. That was the least stud all looks game.
Okay.
Yeah, it ended on a tie because of the drop.
Who dropped? Which team?
Marc-Andre, can you help us? Well, I know what happened. I just I spoke to Steph after the game. Okay,
But you didn't find out who dropped the ball?
it was 11:30. I was tired.
Reporting with Simon Dagenet.
Yes.
I actually can't tell you who the quarterback was.
Oh yeah, no. It's not-
Because he doesn't have a number and therefore doesn't
but look
have
at the
any
roster.
stats.
you should be number 11 on the. Oh, you can't.
He doesn't have a number.
Tell the guy that only has one game played. Eagle, come on.
Okay, hold on.
So,
Yeah,
reporting
I remember
of
he
Cody
had a
Allen.
number
There's
11
one,
taped
two,
to his back.
There's 3 guys: Benjamin Reed or Félix Arnaud.
see, I feel like
Neither of those guys are likely.
I feel like
Would you have to talk into the mic and just figure it out, please?
I feel like you guys wouldn't have done this to Mokan. I feel like you respect him more than me. Like
Mokan would have cut us off 5 minutes ago.
I like the
Anyways,
chaos.
The reason why Grinders played well, Sphinx did not. Let's start with that. Sphinx did not play well. Now, Grinders, the reason why they were able to score 26 points is because they had a different quarterback. And he looked potentially good. He made some good plays. He was fast. He moved a lot in the pocket. Got a lot of yards rushing. Was able to buy a lot of time as a good arm, but the reads were very bare.
As per Marc-Andre, it was Jeremy White who dropped the.
Okay.
So all looks offense.
All looks offense.
Did
Jeremy
not
White.
win.
Come on, Jeremy White. You could have upset the studs or whatnot.
Well, all looks are first in
Yeah.
the ground.
I'm just saying.
But Grinders, I was happy to see that they were able to compete.
But Sphinx also had Julien Laporte at quarterback.
But that's
So-
what this functioned out there well.
Yeah, but they don't have the
It's,
quarterback.
it's included wasn't there. But overall, even
I
defensively,
love how you rushed through the name because you weren't
it's
sure.
included.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
This time you were sure.
No,
This
I
time
am.
you were sure.
But even their defense was not playing really well. But again, it doesn't really matter for Sphinx. It's more of like a one-upper for Grinders. Like, go ahead, guys. Next season, you're going to be competitive.
if we go out for dinner, we split the bill.
Yes,
Lobster dinner split the bill. 26-26 with Mean Machine.
that was terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. What are your reactions to this game?
What? Just like Lobster Dinner needed to win. Mean Machine kind of did too. What is this?
Neither team did what they had to
What
do.
They negotiated and met in the middle.
Yeah. It's like,
Let's
guys,
tie.
no one needs to win this. Let's keep it alive for one more
What
week.
is this? I don't even know what to say about this.
We'll get to how that affects the playoff race later.
Both games tied 26-26.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conspiracy? I think
Is
so.
26 the magic number? Why did you take it off the script?
Is Tupac still alive? Maybe. Tone it down. Destroyed Vikings 47-12.
Wow.
What?
Wow. So I've been high on Vikings since Valentine's Day, saying they'll make the playoffs. They got this, and then they drop this. They do this.
You know what it is? Like, you basically said, I'm all yours, right? And then they just sat on the couch, ate potato chips, got fat, and then like now they're wondering why you're out the door, why you left a note.
They ate all my Cheetos.
Yeah, that's why.
Was someone there to explain why Corey Watson and Marvin Golding both played quarterback in this one and both put up really good numbers?
Because they were up so much, I said, hey, let me try.
Yeah, it's like everyone have a good time. Everyone have a good time. Yeah, surprising.
That was not the case for No Name this week. Wow, they did not have a good time.
Well, but they also were looking for players an hour before their game.
Because John Grizzly wasn't there.
Yeah.
Everybody played quarterback. Everybody played quarterback. They finished with minus 13 yards of offense total.
There's literally more quarterbacks than receivers.
For no name?
It got to a point where, well, John Grizzly wasn't there, so Rob White, I think Sean Collins started the game as a quarterback.
0 for 4, minus 8 yards.
That didn't pan well. So Rob White took, I think, 2 or 3 drives.
0 for 5, minus 9 yards, 1 interception.
So he completed
Likely,
a pass
by the way-
only to the other team.
And then when I turned around, I saw Bradley Collins, Sean Collins' brother, play
0 for
quarterback.
3, 0 yards.
And then Jason Armanti played quarterback too.
Who's actually not on the stat sheet, but likely 0 for something.
And then no, everybody played quarterback, and they got to a point where so this is what happened. So they didn't have a quarterback. Nobody was able to play quarterback, so they kind of just rotated. And for a while, it looked like fun for a few guys. And then it got to a point where what I feel is every time they would throw an interception, there were smiles. Like, hey, it's not that easy, eh? Like, you were making fun of me. You said you could do better, and you can't.
Well, at least they had a good time with it.
Rob White said he had a good time. He said it was all fun and games. You know, like at least.
They didn't expect to win this game, I guess.
Oh man, you play blue chips
we've all
of
been
all
there.
teams.
We've been there where we play games where we know the season's not going our way. Guys are not showing up.
Yeah, they were. By the time this game started, they were already eliminated from the playoffs, and they were playing blue chips. So, what do you do?
Yeah.
There was this one play.
Kudos to them for showing up, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah,
Not forfeiting
They
the game.
played. They gave it their all. They didn't give up. There was this one play I remember. Arnaud Sanders or Sanders Arnaud, the guy from the tall guy from Blue Chips.
Mhm.
He was running on a post for a 40 bomb, and the two safeties were both the two Collins brothers,
Mhm.
Sean and Bradley. And so you see Arnaud running, and he's like 6'2", 6'3". Sean Collins is what, like 5'5", 5'7".
Mhm.
You could see that matchup was in Sean Collins' favor.
Just
And-
the size of the strides.
I turned around and all I could see was that guy wearing the blue shirt just running free, like uncovered, and there's Sean Collins behind him trying his best, but
Yeah.
it's just
It's a bad matchup.
yeah.
Guys, I think I figured out where Mo Khan is. He's at the clinic nursing his backpedaling injury because Small Giants beat Grabers 28-13
There we
this
go.
week.
Achilles, guys. Achilles is a serious injury. It's tough. Take it from a guy with ankle pain. All that backpedaling makes it tough, right? So we saw him do that with Samuel Caron. Unable to take a strong stand. We see it again with Small Giants.
No,
He tried to plant and run forward, and he just pulled something, I guess.
Simon, what's happened to 69ers?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. Good analysis.
I
Thank you.
don't know.
GM, would you like to chime in as to what's happening with 69ers since Simon offered me nothing?
I think it's just a little bit more depth in the division and strength of schedule as well. Is that early on they had a couple of matchups that they really, really benefited from, and there's just been a production drop off with the increased competition in the later half of the season.
Can you really blame them this week, though, playing the Alpha T's and only losing by 7 points? I mean,
no,
we
no.
consider the Alpha T's to go perfect, right? So
They
this
took
game we would have,
25.
quote-unquote,
Not
expected
bad.
them to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking about this game early in the season, be like, oh, this game's going to be awesome, and will this be Alpha T's only loss? Turns out that wasn't the case, but
Turns out we were wrong.
it's just like, that's the thing. It's like, if we actually go back to listen to things we said earlier in the season, like, they're foolish. Like, we don't know. what
Yeah,
happened.
I don't do that.
So, can be... Simon asked this question, and this is a
Yeah,
similar
let's
question.
push me.
Can
throw me
BD
under
Bandits make a legit run at the title? Former Division 3 team playing in Division lower. Can they make a
With
run at the title?
mostly a different roster.
Yes,
Yeah.
but still, like guys with Division 3 experience, quarterback with Division 3 experience.
So like 3 guys who own the same T-shirt that they had when they were in Division 3.
yeah, but
So basically, Peeze, stop.
but
You're
again,
wrong.
the quarterback, the most important position, is a guy
Okay.
who formerly played in Division 3.
Okay, yes, the quarterback, yes.
So I mean, I think it's not unrealistic to be
Okay,
hey,
so
this team can compete.
seeing how they started the season, there was no way BD Bands were making the playoffs.
Mhm.
Something changed. Sadly,
is?
I don't know what it is. I spoke to Mac Bell that. I do not remember what he told me was the difference maker. But
reporting at its finest.
yeah, that's me. But that was like also like 6 weeks ago. We spoke on the sidelines before one of his games, and he told me they changed a few things around. Eagle, do you have something to add here?
I was gonna say I don't know what you're talking about. They did after the first 5 games they were 3-2. They lost 1, 1.
So that sounds like losses to me.
They
Just
literally lost week 2 and 3, and then
Yeah,
never again.
so they were 1 and 2.
Yeah, and then
Thanks.
Simo and Pease made up their mind at that week that
It
they
was
were not
done.
a contender, and then just like stopped referring back.
That sounds like us.
Yeah.
So
Why change your mind when you have new information?
there you go. So no, but I think that this is one of the looking at BD Bandits, how they're playing, how long they've been in FPF. I feel like they're on the back end of their franchise. Like they're not going to be around for another 10 years. If so, the team's going to change because some of these guys, it's like, am I coming back for another season? Am I playing one more? And I feel like this is BD Bandits. This might be one of the last chance at a title.
I also like that you're saying they won't be around 10 years. That's 20 seasons. Or 30 if you include the FPF Cup from here on out. So, I mean, if the back end is 30 seasons, it's not so bad.
Plus, in a few years, they can do 35 plus and actually increase the number of leagues they're playing in for championships.
That's
Think about
true.
it.
Anyways, point being, I think they are a legit contender this season. Seeing how the top teams are kind of, what's the right word here? Help me out. Not so strong anymore. Not plummeting, but
I want to say flourishing.
losing feathers.
Losing feathers? Feather lossing, yes. Seeing that the top teams are feather lossing.
Teams are at parity.
No, that's not it. Eagle. Come on,
Feather lossing.
be better.
Is the word we're looking for.
Towercast.
Towercast, indeed. Looking at some teams that we didn't have a good feel for early in the season, up and coming or a mutation.
Yeah.
Well, who do you think?
You were very high on mutation. Probably still
I was actually
are.
high at both teams because I'm familiar with the core of both teams.
Mhm.
Mutation core largely based on Trinity, who I always thought were too strong to be in the divisions they played in, with some higher end division experience joining the team, and up and coming having basically a Division 3 defense in Division 4.
Yes.
Make them a competitor up front. But you, Simon, maybe you didn't have the same sort of like.
I didn't expect up and coming
Expectations I had.
to be competitive, simply because this is Travis Moses' first attempt at quarterback, I believe.
Mm-hmm. First real attempt.
Yeah, because some of the guys on the team played quarterback before. We've seen Jordan Moses do it in lower divisions before. I don't think Travis Moses tried it before. It's tough to start your first season as a quarterback in Division 4A.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, he's good, man.
See, so I've had this debate for a while.
Okay.
Especially for someone's a very good athlete the way Travis Moses is. Is it better to start in Division 6 with a cast of characters who aren't necessarily refined players, or playing in a higher division with players who run the routes properly, make all the catches, and make plays for you?
I think that 4 is the right place to start.
That's not an answer to my question.
Yes, because see what I did there? Because if you start in 6, you don't have the receivers to help you out. In Division 4, in up and coming case, he has his brother that he can rely on. So Jordan Moses could tell them, this is how I run my route.
Jeremy Anderson. And
all these guys, they could help you out and tell you basically when you're starting panicking a little bit, calm down, this is what we're going to do. We know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. We've been here before. They run their routes the right way. If the ball is not perfectly thrown, they're going to catch it anyways. If they're a bit behind them, it's still a catch. It helps you to move the chain and build confidence. In lower division, if the ball is slightly behind them, it might be a pick 6.
I think that's kind of to Peace's point, though. If you're in a lower division and you stand out, that's how you gain notoriety in the league. If you end up in Div 4, like you say, and you end up middle of the pack or basically a system receiver to a degree with talent, don't get me wrong, but if you're top 4 on your team, not to say you're a nobody, but you're kind of a nobody. Div 6, you end up being number 1 receiver, you work your way up, and people want to pick you up.
As a quarterback, though.
Quarterback, same thing. Quarterback too. You stand out as a quarterback.
Yeah, but that was my question. My question, I perhaps didn't phrase it well. So, let's say Eagle, you were as skilled in football as Travis Moses. Let's pretend that for a moment.
That'd be nice.
I know, right? For anyone in this room,
you might have a championship.
But so, and you were starting to play quarterback in your first season. Do you think it would be better to start in Div 6 with players who aren't, like, you're playing against worse competition, but the players you have aren't as good, or playing in a higher division with more talent on your side?
I think from a development perspective, you're going to get discouraged much easier in an upper division because your mistakes will be punished much more than they would in the lower divisions.
I think you also don't know the Moses brothers. They don't get discouraged by anything.
No, but that also, I feel that also helps Travis Moses, that he has better, like he has Jeremy Anderson, he has Jordan Moses around him.
So you're saying Div 6 better, you're saying Div 4 better?
Div 4, he's at the right
you're a tiebreak. Do you understand the question?
Depends on how good you are as a quarterback.
Okay.
If you feel that you as a quarterback,
I'm saying in this case, let's say a person who is Travis Moses, good athlete, non-established quarterback.
I feel like this is Travis challenging himself, because if Travis registered with admittedly a lesser core in Div 6, he would tear up the division.
Okay.
All right. 100%.
All right.
Okay.
So that's I like these kind of topics just because there's no
the
straight
hypotheticals,
answer, right?
exactly.
Because
there's also no right answer.
There's an equal there's no right answer because there's an equal chance if he just gets frustrated and the guys aren't catching the balls, and you know what I mean. Like you don't know how that works out.
Travis, if you're listening, let us know what you prefer.
Well, this because he's
doing
the thing you did or
maybe
the thing you didn't do.
Maybe in hindsight he's like, oh, you know what? I should have.
So sometimes you order pizza but you want tacos.
Can you put tacos on your pizza?
Or like pizza, but they're the taco shells.
Taco pizza?
Yeah.
Taquitos.
Or to pizza.
Is that calzones?
No, because they're not completely closed.
Calzone is a folded flatbread.
I know what calzones is. Who is he? Why do you have a mic?
So Mokon hasn't been high on Jeremy Rosenberg.
He's been hating on him.
Yeah. Tell me why he's wrong.
Why he's wrong, or why has he been hating?
Tell me why he's wrong.
Because Jeremy Rosenberg.
I don't know. Nobody can know why he's hating.
I do know why he's hating. Okay. And I do know why he's wrong.
Tell me.
Okay, so why he's hating is because Jeremy Rosenberg doesn't have a lot of yards. Mm-hmm. He has fairly good numbers, but his yard total is not high. So he finishes games with like 120 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Okay.
130 yards, 4 touchdowns. So when he's comparing him to the other, let's say, elite quarterbacks in the division, it's like, oh, he doesn't match up well. He doesn't have the yards. He doesn't have the numbers. He's not as good. He's not as efficient. But he never has a full field because the defense is so good on Mountain Lions that he finishes a game with 5 touchdowns and 110 yards. What do you want to do?
I think he also doesn't pass Mokon's eye test of what a quarterback should look like.
That's fair.
But how many times are we going to keep making the mistake where, like, for years we thought Joey Taylor sucked, and then he just keeps putting up 50 touchdown seasons and
No,
like.
we're not defending this. This is just
No, I'm just saying
objectively
it's just
trying to figure
strange
it
that
out,
like this is what we do, right? We cover FPF. We should know FPF.
yeah.
And then in most cases, Jeremy Rosenberg. In my case, it's, for example, no fork and chance that for whatever reason, I just made a decision that I didn't like them. You know what I mean?
I think there's some teams that are flashy right out of the gate that catch our attention, and it's because they fit the traditional football mold, right? Speed,
But nothing about
athletes.
FPF is traditional. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a small field and it's quirky and it's weird that there's a podcast about it.
Right,
you
but
know?
like, you know, for example, you're looking at the combine, right? If you're looking at, you know, a 40-yard dash, you're looking for particular numbers based on what position you play. You're looking for quarterbacks that can throw a ball a certain way. If you don't fit that traditional mold, you're shunned to a certain degree, and some of us look at the game that way.
So
Mokan being one of them.
speaking of Mountain Lions, if Mountain Lions win, if Mountain Lions, BD Bandits, and Jagerbomb all win or all lose, then we'll have points against being a tiebreaker, right?
Yes, exactly.
And
If
this
they
favors
all-
Mountain Lions. if I'm
Yeah,
not
because
mistaken.
Mountain Lions has the better PA as of right now. So if
Do
they
you
all,
think-
let's say
do
they
you
all lose, the chance
who
of
Mountain Lions playing this week, Eagle or GM? I signed to both to see who wins. It's a race to the finish.
Show me your TDs.
All right, so
So
Mountain Lions-
show us your TDs.
Yeah, most Mountain Lions will likely then hold on to points against as a tiebreak.
Although
Interestingly enough, though, show me your TDs are 2 and 7 with a plus minus of minus 16.
it's been a strange season for them, and we're going to touch on them a little bit later as well.
but I could see Show Me TDs winning that meaningless game against Mountain Lions, though. I could see that upset.
Yeah, and in the end, like we've talked about, the seeding actually doesn't matter. So
Also, yes.
it
That's why I'm
doesn't
saying
matter.
meaningless game for Lions.
In case of two-way ties, Mountain Lions have the tiebreak over BD Bandits. Lions versus Jagerbomb, it would go down to
Basically, everybody
points
has a
against.
tie. Basically, everybody has a head-to-head against the Bandits.
Yeah, and Jagerbomb over Bandits as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Clint Commission, congrats. Clint's number one.
That's a shocker.
Yes.
We've talked about it for 2-3 weeks, so it's not a shocker anymore.
But coming into the season, we didn't expect that to happen.
Well,
Unknown quantity of quarterback.
they made a switch,
Mhm.
paid off.
It worked.
What now? What are your expectations for the commission as of today?
First round exit.
So that no. Let's be serious. What do they need to reach? What do they need to achieve for you to say they had a good season, good job? Losing at this point is fine.
Semifinals.
They got to get to, for me, they got to get to, the semi. I
So
would say
finals.
The
So
conference A
Conference finals?
Conference
I have a
top
quick
four.
question. Why are there no playoff breakdowns for Division 4 on our website for 4A?
Because it's the
it's
top 8
directly-
teams, and therefore
Oh,
you
okay.
literally look at
All
the
right.
standings.
So therefore, it's as the standings are. Okay, perfect. That's
So
true.
they would play Brocasian round
So
one.
so I
in
think
theory.
they're going to be. So the rankings don't matter except for commission, because commission I think are very matchup dependent.
Yep.
And where I think they'll beat Brocasian, man, if they got to face Montagnard or the Alpha T's down the road, Mutation,
The Alpha Tees
69ers.
is a bad matchup for them.
Yeah.
But okay, so GM and Eagle agreed that the commission needs to reach the Final Four, the conference finals, for them to say this was a good season. We lost at a fair point. Do you agree?
No, because they made a switch halfway through the season that could have absolutely worked out or.
Okay,
not
so
panned
but
out
at-
at all.
as
So
of
are
today-
they already there?
I think it's a successful season.
So as of today, what
and
are
now
your
it's just gravy at
expectations?
this point because they can build it going into the spring season, so on and so forth.
Okay, so as of today, you feel like they've achieved
Yeah.
a successful season,
Yes.
and even if they're 1 and out in the playoffs, it doesn't matter.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think they'll be happy with it.
No, but I'm not like it's just I want to know what you think. You know,
Yeah.
like, I want your perspective on this.
On the bubble.
Yep.
Conference A up and coming need to finish with more points, with less points against them?
More points total because they have
More
two ties.
points in terms of the wins and losses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they have
Then-
2 ties.
Mhm.
If they finish with the same amount of points, they'll be outside looking in because
Because wins
ties.
is the first tiebreaker.
Exactly.
Then Montagnard or Brocasian. How have you seen the up and coming project? What do you, if you had to give it a grade, what would you give it?
B plus. I feel that's fair.
Because-
I feel that's fair. They have a very strong roster to begin with. The quarterback project is a great success,
Mm-hmm.
but they're also not 8-2. Like
But did you expect him to be 8-2?
no, but that's it, right? Like the roster on paper is a roster good enough to dominate 4A.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they have a new quarterback makes it
It's like if they had Jeremy Rosenberg at quarterback, for example.
Yeah.
Only four.
Oh, well, let's say for argument's sake, they had an established quarterback playing for
Yeah.
them. So Shea Arbor, Chris Olsen, like a guy that you know can win Division 4A
Mm-hmm.
playing for them, then anything below like 8-2 would be a disappointment because of the roster.
Eagle?
Speaking
But-
of Shea Harbor, they play 69ers in their last game, so that's a tough one to try and sneak into the
That
playoffs.
could be cool.
Unless
You
again,
also aren't able to field that same roster if they have an experienced quarterback
True.
because you lose Moses from that
Yeah,
because
that's
of his
true.
offensive rating.
I don't know how close they are to the cap. But
I would
they're-
imagine very close. They have 3 Division 3,
Or better.
Division 2 players, right? Like,
yeah, Division 2 at the moment.
yeah. But guys, with their ratings being, let's say, in the mid 80s, they're going to be tight.
To put it in perspective, last week their defensive cap was at 439. A reminder, the cap for Div 4A is 445, so they have 6 points of wiggle room on defense, about 20 points on offense, to be honest. So they had some.
But also they have Travis Moses as a quarterback. rating.
Exactly.
Could they have like a 75-ish quarterback, purely offense, and then like a guy, let's say
And Travis Moses is like an 82 on offense typically. Let's
I was gonna say, let me check Travis Moses here. So he's a 65 as quarterback. He's an 82 as offensive. So no, they would immediately jump.
Yeah.
The only instance would be bringing in a brand new quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So-
no, but not even because they go over the cap just with Travis Moses going to.
okay,
receiver.
that's interesting.
But either way,
But either way, I'm still not surprised. Not happy.
Yeah.
What's the right word I'm looking for?
you keep asking me butterflies.
Well,
Cool. I'm still butterflies.
Duke just realized this isn't March Madness and this is an FPF podcast,
Okay.
so we may be losing him soon.
Okay. Yeah, he's right though.
It took him
Um,
2 hours to figure out we're not basketball.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, you guys were talking about basketball for a little while.
It
It's true.
happens. It
We did.
happens. The show can go anywhere. Due to points against, Siths are pretty much eliminated. Is this a result of just always putting random pieces together? Because defense takes communication, right? And so I kind of expected this kind of season from Siths,
Yes,
especially in the
100%.
defense
Looking
side.
at the roster on paper, it's tough to say that it's because of they basically took who they could to fill the roster.
Mhm.
They were supposed to be in the division to begin with. It didn't work out. They were sort of pushed up. The roster doesn't really compete in 4. They have a few good pieces. Like we know how strong the tandem of Gino DeFazio connecting with Carmen Peliche is. But that's not enough to win games.
No.
You need a little bit more than that, and you need a defense, which they do not have.
Godham, you do not got playoffs. You've been eliminated. Thanks for joining us this season. Conference B, all teams are locked. Bullies, Show Me Your TDs, and LOB eliminated. Is this the most shocking list of teams not making the playoffs in FPF?
Yes. They were probably... These 3 names were probably in my top 5 prior to the season.
If I had to do a power ranking for this team, this
Preseason?
division coming in, I was going to put all 3 of these teams in my top 5.
Definitely.
Worth noting, just kind of playing the trumpet here in this death march, but LOB 1-8.
That's graphic. Just
5
picture it, sorry.
5 games were decided on the last drive by a touchdown,
But even like Show Me Your TDs, like we discussed, they've been in their games and just not closing out.
including that loss to Show Me
Yeah.
Your TDs by a touchdown.
Yeah, well, there you go.
To clarify, Backyard Bullies do have 1 game left and can hit the 8 points mark. However, the head-to-head between Top Secret and Backyard Bullies was decided week 2, where Top Secret won 20-19.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's rough. It's definitely rough. The awards are coming out. Simon, we
Yes.
did something different with the awards.
Nominees.
Can you explain that
We're
real
doing
quick?
not- okay, sorry.
You got to do that 5 times tonight.
So the awards are not coming out this week. They're coming out next week after the season ends.
Mhm.
This week, however, what we're going to have tomorrow is a list of nominees. So sort of like what we do with the Oscars is you get a bunch of guys that are nominees for the Oscar and then one of them wins it. What we're doing this season is you're going to get you're going to get a list of nominees for every award. If you're not nominated, you cannot win the award.
Mhm.
If you're nominated, amongst the guys nominated this week, we'll look at the stats at the end of the season and see who has the better stats and who wins.
All right. We won't go into specific
So
nominees 'cause
basically,
it's the article's coming out
Yeah,
tonight,
so
tomorrow.
basically 2, 3, 4 runner-ups for an award,
Mhm.
whoever's in contention, and we'll see how they fare in week 11 to see who gets it.
Now, he may or may not be nominated, but we talked a little bit about Mark Belvedere. Have we sort of ignored him all season because we've made the decision, because he struggled in Division 3 in the past, he's not a good quarterback? Like, was that an establishment that we made, let's say, as a podcast or as a media team, and that we've been proven wrong on?
I wouldn't go as far as to say not a good quarterback, but not an elite quarterback. Yes.
Okay, so we just haven't considered him to be one of the top.
We considered him to be a middle of the pack quarterback,
and we're wrong.
Which he was in Division 3, and now that he moved down, he is no longer. But we still consider him to remain in that he's not bad, but he's not good criteria, which he's not.
Will the awards committee, which is very similar to the Oscars, very stuck up, will they punish Jordan Mitchell for his style of play the way we've done with Joey Taylor in the past?
What do you mean?
In that rushing touchdowns tend not to count as much.
Not true.
The style is not as pretty. I'm saying it's happened in the past.
It's purely based on stats. Rushing stats are added to your passing totals.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 300 yards rushing, you have automatically 300 more combined yards. Same for touchdowns. It's a total. If you run it or you pass it, you're still producing.
Do athletic quarterbacks have an inherent advantage for two-way player of the year, and has it become a consolation prize for those who didn't win quarterback of the year?
I think two-way play. Well, so for everybody that plays receiver, DB, two-way of the year has always been like the upgrade, right? It's always been the more prestigious.
What you're playing for?
Yeah. As a quarterback, though, it's a bit different. If a quarterback wins two-way, some quarterback could see it as a consolation prize. I see it as you're good enough.
What I'm saying is the advantage go to quarterbacks because of their ability to pad up stats.
No, it doesn't. It's tough for a quarterback to win two-way. You need to be really dominant as a quarterback and as a DB.
But I'm saying, let's say like an athletic quarterback who's the runner-up for quarterback of the year, because he's runner-up for the quarterback of the year, does he automatically get an advantage?
If he has better defensive stats than everybody else, maybe.
So you're saying there's no advantage?
No, none at all. If anything, it's a disadvantage.
Okay.
They could be overlooked more than anything else.
Scariest team in Division 4B. I'll throw this to all of you gentlemen, starting with Simon. Who's the team you'd rather not play in the playoffs, given how we've talked about how the playoffs will all come down to matchups?
In 4B, Blue Chips. Or if I have to pick a less famous name,
obvious,
Truth Squad.
Eagle?
I don't like all hooks. I mean, I like them, and I wouldn't like them. Exactly, yeah, because I feel like either he's going to beat you on the ground or he's going to beat you in the air, or their defense is going to out-pressure you. So I don't like any of those matchups, no matter what team you are.
If I land, if I see, or in this case, air.
So choosing what hasn't already been said already, Norfolk and Chance.
All right.
You?
I was going to go easy, and I was going to go with Blue Chips.
I technically went with Truth Squad, so Blue Chips is still up for grabs.
Yeah, so I'll go absolutely with Blue Chips, just because Jordan Mitchell's ability to just destroy rushers makes them a very difficult team to match up against. And I'll actually throw some love back at Les Stud, just because I've been hard on Samuel Cannon all season. He's learned. We said he's a good quarterback who needs to learn FPF. He's learning very fast.
Oh, he is.
And by playoff time, he will have learned.
He has learned already.
But that's what I'm
you
saying.
See the difference. And they're able to put up a lot of points, which could be scary in the playoffs.
Then again, playoffs are a different game, so maybe you have to learn playoffs too. Have a bad season or a learning experience.
Maybe. We'll see.
In March Madness, 16 never upsets 1, but 2's upset 15s. Which conference will produce more upsets?
Good question, Eagle. It's not in the script, so
I'm not Eagle. I'm Peeze.
Eagle, a good question. Just didn't say it in the mic.
Right. So can you answer my question?
Conference A.
Because?
I think Conference B is too top heavy.
Okay.
I think teams like Truth Squad and All Hooks are gonna run they're starting off as top seeds and they're gonna finish in the conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Conference A, I think it's gonna be a bloodbath. And
just an overview of Conference A compared to Conference B's lower seeds. Conference A's lower seeds: Martin et Le Flag, Be Ready, Team Ethnic, and Tone It Down. Whereas the 5 through 8 in B is Sphinx, Les Stud, Lobster Dinner, and Mean Machine.
I can see Les Stud pulling off an upset.
Yeah.
Could you see any other teams? But that's sort of my point, though. Like, I feel like some of these teams...
Like there will be an upset, let's say, but not multiple.
Exactly.
Something definitely to track for the upcoming weeks. So we've talked a little bit about Sphinx. Now, we didn't see a good version of them this past week. Their season is done. What odds are you giving me when we bet on them making the finals?
They won't. They'll win one
So what
game.
odds?
Odds?
Yeah.
17%.
So-
They'll win the first playoff game.
Give me odds, not a percentage of winning.
Oh, 1 out of 17.
17 to 1?
Yeah. Are you taking that bet?
Put me another $10. Who's keeping track of these bets, by the way?
I am. You owe me a lot of $10.
It's fine. I'll pay a couple of pitchers at the Brossard.
Sounds good.
Eagle.
I think, and if I'm looking at this, they can fall as low as 7th, and then they would have to play all hooks.
Yeah, that would be awful. I'll give you my $10 now.
Yay. Money.
Indeed.
HowToGetRich.com.
Apparently. I think that brings us to our last segment of the show.
Week of the games?
Week of the games.
Games of the week. 4A. Gotham against Top Season.
I think Godham's folded in for the season. Top season it is.
Top season. For sure.
Top season.
Keyport Lock against Backyard Bullies.
Keep a lot. Give me Jeff Rosenblatt.
Give me Backyard Bullies trying to just be ball busters.
No.
And Siths against the Alpha T's.
Alpha T's by how many points can one team score in a game? That's by how many?
I disagree.
Okay.
I agree that Alpha T's are going to win, but it's going to be a close one.
I don't think so.
The shocker of the week, Show Me Your TDs versus Mountain Lions.
2-1? What?
The shocker for the week.
Yeah.
I always throw in one, right? So I wanted to give you the shocker.
Thanks.
Show Me Your TDs versus Mountain Lions. Mountain Lions need the win to secure first.
Yeah, I think it's me Mountain Lions. Unfortunately for my buddies, show me your TDs.
I agree, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, that I agree with.
And in 4B, A Squad against Vikings.
Hey, squad. I'm done with Vikings. They lost this week. I'm mad.
Give me Vikings.
Of course.
Just because.
LV against Pastar Prime.
Pastor Prime.
Yep.
Gonna win an ugly one.
Yep, Pope.
And Game Changers against Blue
Pop.
Chips.
Blue Chips.
I don't like this one
to
for Blue
stay
Chips.
undefeated. I don't like it either, but I kind of feel like the
Game changes by 1.
who's rushing against Jordan Mitchell?
Nobody. Just drop everyone. Make a tackle.
No rushing.
You're getting 2 games from
They'll
me
bring
this
back
time.
Justin Filto. Just for this game.
That'd
One
be
game
great.
only.
That'd
Yeah,
be
I know.
great.
Les Stud versus Mean Machine.
They
They
studs.
stud.
Okay, so then they're not going to 7. Or no, I think should still go to 7th then at that point if Studs can win and
Yeah.
jump them. And then the Mocon Special, Small Giants versus True Squad.
I don't see Small Giants win this game, unfortunately. Give me Truth Squad.
Oh yeah, Truth Squad, big time.
And that's it.
Can't
So,
wait for the backpedaling next week.
yeah. We'll hear Mokan talk about
One
that
of you
next
is
week.
doing it. It's either him or you guys.
He's gonna be like, oh yeah, all looks best team in the division. Yeah,
Well, Small Giants, man.
you won't remember
Yeah,
because it's Mokan.
But he's not here, and for all of us here,
He's good. Nah,
including
it's not our fault.
Simon Dagenet, the Eagle of Master Control, GM Colette Yoas, and myself, I want to thank you all for letting me be myself.
I just figured what Jim's last name in French could be. Ramasse ton cul. It's pretty good.